Hey guys, how's it going? It's Jewel Tontino here. So in this video, I am going to be sharing a story from my childhood, and Arit, who is usually on the Thursday videos and Thursday time slot, has asked me to share one of my stories, one of my childhood stories about regret. So I'm going to be sharing this story, and it happened to me when I was a kid, and it's one of the things I'd say that I regret doing, knowing what I know now, knowing that my mindset now and the way I'm an entrepreneur and the way I go after life now, I regret what I did when I was younger. Okay, so let's backtrack. Growing up, I was obsessed with playing basketball. I was like a basketball freak. Me and my sister, we would collect the cards, and this was in the 90s. I grew up in the 90s, and I would watch every single basketball game that was on, free cable, and I knew all of the players' names at the time in the 90s. Not now. I don't even know what's going on now. But back then, I was like obsessed with basketball. I lived and breathed that game. And it was like that for the longest time. Like there's pictures of me when I'm 3-4 years old holding a basketball, shooting in kindergarten, and it was just like that for my childhood. And growing up here in Vancouver, British Columbia, when you get to grade 6 and 7, you're still in elementary school, and there's a basketball team and you play against other schools. So up until like going through the elementary years, I was waiting for grades 6 and 7 to play basketball on the team so that I could play against other schools. I wanted to be on the team so bad because, I wanted to be like the people in the NBA. And then later on, they released the WNBA, and I wanted to be, like Cheryl Swoops and be like all those people in the WNBA. I wanted to be in the WNBA. That's what I wanted to be when I grew up. When I was, I'm this little kid, this little Filipino girl, and I wanted to be in the WNBA. It was a tall order for me when I was young. So I wanted to be on the grade 6 and 7 team. Now I was so determined and so obsessed that when I heard that Michael Jordan used to shoot 100 free throws every day to practice, that's what I wanted to do too. So I would be outside playing with our basketball hoop, and back then it wasn't even like a real basketball hoop. It was one that was homemade. Like my dad had this wooden post, and it was only like 7.5 feet tall. It wasn't even like the actual one because we couldn't afford it at the time. So he just did like a homemade one, and he drew the square, when you do the backboard and stuff like that. It was totally ghetto, but it really worked at the time. So I would shoot these 100 shots every, Michael Jordan would get all of them in a row, but I set a goal to shoot 100 shots in a row and try and get as many of them in as I can. I drank milk like crazy to try and get taller. I did everything that I knew I could so that I could make it on these teams. So grade 6 and 7 come, and I automatically make it on the teams. I'm one of the best scorers with basketball. I, had the most points. It was me and this other girl who were like the top 2, and we were like the best ones on the team. And pretty much I like flew through grade 6 and 7 basketball. I was the best. Like everyone knew that, and I would score the points, and it was just like it was something that I really enjoyed in grade 6 and 7. And my teachers were saying that you're going to do so well in high school, you're going to make it, who knows, you could really go far and play college and all this stuff. And I was getting super excited for this kind of thing because I was like, oh my God, I could actually play basketball for a living for real. Now, when I graduated elementary school, so grade 7, you finish elementary, and then grade 8 is high school. I didn't go to the same high school that all of my friends did. They all went to a certain high school, and then because I moved in grade 4 or so, it was always known that I would not be attending the same high school as my friends. I would have to go to another high school. Now, this is pretty traumatizing as a young child when you're with your friends and you have to go to a different school. It was definitely traumatizing for me because I didn't know anyone at this new school and I was so scared, and I was really, really shy back then. I wasn't shy if like we were friends already and we knew of each other, but when I'm meeting new people, I became really, really shy. So I ended up going to this new high school, had zero friends, was super sad, and I'd say depressed because I didn't know anyone, and I would wander the halls by myself aimlessly, sit by my locker, eat alone, that type of thing. And then, basketball tryouts were happening. I think within the first month or so, maybe the second month of school, basketball tryouts, they had announced that, grade 8 girls, there's tryouts. Now, I was actually scared and slightly excited, more so scared, because I didn't know anyone and I didn't know, I was too scared to actually attend the practice. But I had met this other girl in one of my, we called them CAP classes, career and personal planning, and she had said, she was kind of like not a friend yet, but she had said, hey, if you want to go to the basketball tryouts and you're nervous and stuff, I'll go with you. It was really cool of her to do that because she didn't even like basketball. She wasn't good at basketball, but she went so that I could go. So that made me feel better, and I ended up going to the tryouts. And, everything just collapsed. I lost everything, all my skills, because of what was going on in my mind. So in elementary school, grade 6, 7, just less than a year prior, I was one of the best players. I would score almost all the points, if not me, the other girl. It was always me or her. And then all of a sudden, I'm in this new environment. Everything is new. I'm scared. I can't even play my best anymore. I can't even play properly anymore. So there were about 2 days of tryouts, and I made the first cut, and it was the last cut. And I was a mess. I couldn't do my regular shots. There was this one shot that I would always do in elementary school. It was basically from the 3-point line, and I would do this hook shot because Shaquille O'Neal would do hook shots, but not from that far. He couldn't make shots from that far. But I would do this hook shot from all the way up to the outline, and I would make them all the time, but I couldn't even do that. I couldn't even do a layup. And pretty much I understand now what was happening. I was getting in my head and I was letting my ego get to me. I was letting all my skills just diminish because I was totally scared of, I have no idea what I was scared of. I was pretty much just a scaredy cat. So day 2 of the basketball tryouts, and they said that the next morning they would post up who made the final cut for the team. And I could not sleep that night. I was had butterflies and my stomach hurt, and I was so nervous. And they said they would post it in the gym area next morning. And so I got to school early. I went to go check the list, and the white paper, and you're scrolling down, and my name was not on the list. And pretty much my heart just sank, and I immediately felt like crying. I remember going to the washroom into a stall, silently sobbing because I didn't want anyone to hear me. And I was just so crushed and so distraught that I didn't make the team. And you know what happened after that day? I didn't want to play basketball anymore. I didn't want to touch a basketball. I didn't want to collect basketball cards anymore. I didn't want to watch the games anymore. I didn't want to do any basketball talk anymore. I would always want to talk about which player was better and the stats and whatever. I knew all of that. I didn't want to have anything to do with basketball after I didn't make the team. Even my friends, I started to make friends in grade 8. They would ask me to play basketball, and I didn't want to anymore. I didn't want to touch the basketball. I didn't want to shoot the hoops. in gym class, I didn't want to play that anymore. And it was all because of this one time that I didn't make the team. And this carried on for a while. Now, eventually I did start to pick up the basketball again and shoot some hoops, every now and then. But it was never the same level and the same passion that I had prior to that event. Like, I lived and breathed basketball. It's all I cared about. And up until that point, I had just been breathing that. And then when I didn't make the team, I just gave it all up. I just let go of it. And that's my regret. That is what I regret, is that I gave up so easily after one failure, after one time of not making the team. I just gave up. Now that I think about that, now that I'm, where I am now, that my mindset is totally different from back then, I think about that time and I'm like, wow, I gave up so easily. I was such a scaredy cat. I didn't even go after my passion. Now I teach people to go after their passion despite all the failures. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. If you really want it that bad, you're going to go after it. That's what I would tell myself now. If I had a chance, they always ask you that question. If you could tell yourself, your younger self, some advice, I would go back to that moment and I would tell myself to keep going with basketball and to not give up, to try out on a different team, like a community center team. And like, it's not the end of the world, because I literally thought it was the end of the world. So I just wanted to share that story with you guys. I actually haven't told that story publicly because, I don't know, it was kind of embarrassing that, that was my life and then I didn't make it once and then I completely gave it up. But I hope that this inspires you guys to not have these types of regrets. Like I said, knowing what I know now, just because I fail, I'm not going to stop. I've failed so many times in business, in projects, in little things, but I don't care anymore. How I think of it now is, okay, that didn't work. I'm that much closer to knowing what does work. So that is my message for you guys. I hope you've enjoyed this Mind Thrive Thursday, and Arit will be back next week. So I'll see you guys in the next video.
Back from the dead.